corner. Wearing black trunks, he weighed officially 130 pounds. He enters the ring tonight for the 17th time as a professional, hailing from Mazatlan, Mexico. Here is Jesus Sandoval. And next is the opponent across the ring, fighting to the red corner. Representing with gray and black, he weighed officially 131 pounds. They got professional houses, staying perfect with 8 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, and 2 wins by way of knockout. From the city of Los Angeles, California, here is the ugly man, Ivan Striker Delgado. And your referee in charge of the action, Wayne Hedgeman.
Okay, we're good here. Your fighter received your instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself. Touch him up.
There you see referee Wayne Hedgepeth. This one is scheduled for 6 rounds, super featherweight division between Ivan Striker Delgado, Jesus Sandoval. Our first fight on Ring TV Live or on Yip TV, whatever function you are watching this on. We do appreciate it. Make sure to send us your tweets. Gonna have a lot of cool social media aspects involved. Every single fight, we get getting more and more involved with you, the fans, as we get going at the Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Ivan Delgado, 8-0-1. He's 25 years old. He's in the red trunks. Father of 3, originally from South Central Los Angeles, now living and training in Montebello with Leo Santa Cruz's gym. Jesus Sandoval from Mazatlan, Mexico. A pro since 2011. He's 30 years old, now living and training in Redwood City, California, in the Bay Area. He's 5'8" with 1 KO. Ivan Delgado, his 5th fight here at the Belasco Theater. Fighter that we saw about a year ago. As Steve mentioned in the open, the LA Fight Club is bringing these young fighters that Oscar De La Hoya signed and giving them exposure. Fans are quickly finding out what they're all about.
Yeah, this is a schooling process. I guess you could call this the school of hard knocks, but you go back years, Beto, and when boxing was much more vibrant, there used to be club shows like this, if you want to describe it as such, 4 or 5 times a week in multiple cities across, or counties across LA, where young fighters, though, could really build their records and actually learn on the job.
Yeah, a lot of the stronger and more storied programs like the fight series out of the Forum in Inglewood and the Olympic Auditorium, not too far from here, they went every week.
Yeah.
There was a show every week.
Doug, I remember when we first came into the business, and I don't want to say what year, I don't want to date ourselves.
Last year.
Yeah, but in the mid-'90s, me and Doug, when we came on the scene, Beto, at the Forum, they went twice a month. And we got to see Hall of Famers like Marco Antonio Barrera cut their teeth, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, and
The Marquez brothers.
Rafael and Juan Manuel Marquez.
It was a good story written by David Avila in the Sweet Science website about the goal of the Olympic Auditorium, the possible return of that. We'll get into all that with the news and notes with Steve Kim. Right now we're watching Ivan Delgado, Jesus Sandoval. Less than a minute to go in the opening bout. Ivan Delgado is a fighter who had a name for himself in the amateur days. Ran into trouble, in and out of trouble, and finally got himself back lined up. Dedicated himself back to boxing. This is his year that he really needs to make a name for himself because he doesn't want to be fighting first anymore or second. He wants to be up there in the co-main, the main events.
You know, in round number 1, Delgado has decided, and there's 2 ways to really attack a southpaw from an offensive standpoint. That's either with a straight right hand or a clean-up hook. For the most part, Delgado has found a home early in round number 1 for that left hook.
Delgado in the red trunks. Sandoval's corner telling him don't trade after he got tagged with an uppercut. Less than 10 seconds to go in the opening round. A good one for Ivan Striker Delgado. Ivan Delgado sat down with the Ring TV live crew. Told us about his strategy for this fight.
I remember him, the aggressive fighter, you know, he's a southpaw fighter. You know, I just got the opponent, which was about 2 weeks ago, so then we had 2 weeks of getting ready for the southpaw fighter. It's my 2nd time fighting a southpaw fighter, but he seems to just go forward, you know, he throws a little wild, so you gotta be careful with that, but stay patient, stay calm, and set it at my pace and try to catch him, you know, because if does get caught. Sometimes he does get caught.
And he mentioned it, he got this fight. He learned about his opponent 2 weeks ago. He was originally scheduled to take on an orthodox fighter. Then he came in with a southpaw in Sandoval. Second round, getting ready to go. Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles. And the round is brought to you by ringtv.com. Visit ringtv.com for great boxing throughout the week. And that's where you can see Dougie's mailbag on Fridays and Mondays.
Doug, we've seen fights for years. I've never seen a fighter actually wear leggings in the ring like Sandoval. I didn't even know that was legal
since,
with the commission.
Angel Manfredi.
Right, I think those were just long socks that he wore.
Oh, really? I thought they were stockings.
Yeah, that's the new trend now, guys. You see all the basketball players with the compression pant tights.
Now, Sandoval needs some help because so far it's Delgado in charge. I think he was really kind of taking Sandoval's measure in round one, landing some nice clean left hands. And he's continued to do that at the start of round two. Some nice crisp left hook during those exchanges
And
at the bell.
you saw Delgado just inadvertently step on the feet of Sandoval. That's always going to be an issue with the southpaw and an orthodox fighter. You see Delgado again. He's doing a very nice job of finishing up right hand with left hook. That seems to be something he worked on specifically for this fight. Delgado's doing a nice job of actually getting in range with both hands.
Yeah, and he's working his left hook to the body and the head, getting under and over the right hand of Sandoval.
Delgado in the red trunk, Sandoval in the black. Two fighters with different upbringings in the sport of boxing. Delgado, amateur since the age of 10, got into the gym. Over 70 amateur fights, where Sandoval moved to the United States in Redwood City at the age of 23, walked into a gym and had about 20 amateur fights. Asked him, why at the age of 23 did you want to start boxing? So, because I needed to pay some bills. Hey. Had 20 amateur fights, went in there and just pro since 2011. Originally a baseball player, Los Venados de Mazatlán is his team. But he was a real good baseball player down in Mexico. In the United States, where he works as a barback at Straits Bar in San Francisco. So boxing pays bills, and what a way to earn it. He's in a good one against Ivan Delgado.
He's doing okay in the middle part of this round. Working some nice combinations. He got his left in and a few right hooks as well. Seems like Sandoval's thinking a little bit more than he was in the first round and at the start of round two.
Well, I think what Sandoval needs to do is enforce his left-handedness, as I like to say, really get that right jab going. And it's interesting for a southpaw. He's not really moving all that much to the right, which is really usually, for the most part, the preferred method of movement for left-handed boxers.
He's got some ability, though. He's got balance. Looks like he can move around the ring pretty well. Decent combinations, not as raw as advertised, or as Delgado thought he would be. Delgado thought he was a pretty raw fighter, technically speaking.
Closing seconds of the second round, scheduled for 6. Super bantamweight division in LAFight Club in downtown LA.
I was a stay-at-home mom. I looked into ITT Tech because I saw a commercial, so I called the school and they asked me to come down for a tour, and as soon as I saw the lab, I was just intrigued. There's not a lot of places where you can get hands-on experience while you're in school. I work at the FedEx Tech Connect Repair Service Center in Collierville, Tennessee. I'm a senior business systems analyst. When Career Services asked me to come and speak to the students at ITT Tech, I was very nervous. They thought that it would be best for me to face those fears. It would be beneficial for the students as well. So it was helping me and helping the students. I would tell my son that education is very important, especially higher education. My name is Tahani Barton, and I'm an ITT Tech grad.
Scholarships and financial aid are available for students who qualify. Call 800-227-2162. That's 800-227-2162.
Third round at the Belasco Theater, Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. After 2, what'd you guys see?
I scored the first round for Delgado. I thought he was firm command in the opening frame, but I scored round 2 even. I thought Delgado had success early in the round, and I thought Sandoval came into his own in the middle and end of the round.
And I have it 20-18. I thought round 2 was much closer. I thought Delgado won the second round based on a late finishing kick in the last 20 seconds.
Southpaw is Jesus Sandoval. His last fight was in October, a decision to Joseph Rodriguez. That was a fight in Texas. The last time Ivan Delgado was in the ring, it was in December here at the Blasco. He went the distance against Luis Ruiz.
And that was good work for Delgado.
Ivan Delgado said for this fight,
Stop punching, step back.
wants to be more patient, pick his spots, because he was away from the sport of boxing for 7 years. So last year, his first couple of fights, he was so amped up and trying to make an impression for everybody. He found himself just doing too much in between rounds, throwing too many punches.
Yeah, sometimes he overcommitted to his punches, maybe trying to live up to that striker nickname. He was loading up a little bit too much, looking for one shot to hurt his opponents.
Right now, though, I think Sandoval has things going his way with the tempo. When he starts to get that right jab going, he gives Delgado something to think about before coming in. You see him again just beating him to the punch. Pretty good round 3 here for Sandoval.
I agree. I think Delgado needs to be a little more active.
Yeah, and we take a look at the record of Sandoval, Doug. He's 5-8-3. But again, I actually think it's a quality 5-8-3. Delgado is his 8th opponent, but has no losses coming in by the time he faces him.
Good right hand landed by Delgado. Not many punches from Delgado this round, but that one was effective. Left from Sandoval.
And one of the things I like about Delgado is how poised he
Yeah.
is, how relaxed he looks when he's in the ring.
25-year-old in red trunks is Delgado. Good right hand from Delgado. The lefty Sandoval in the black. Moving away. Yeah, for being a guy with 5-8-3 record, it could be deceiving.
Right. Well, Beto, there are times when the record is better than the fighter and the fighter is better than the record. This guy here is a very seasoned guy. Despite his record, one thing you could see is his seasoning. He's very sound, pretty competent, and he knows how to move around the ring. He knows how to work.
Yeah, I like his balance a lot.
10 seconds to go in the third round. A good one between Ivan Delgado and Jesus Sandoval. Our opening bout on Ring TV Live on the 1-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club.
Saturday, March 5th, Golden Boy Promotions presents Luis the Real King Kong Ortiz as he takes on Tony the Tiger Thompson for the WBA Interim Heavyweight World Title. From our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., in a packed event with tons of great action, Luis Ortiz, the most feared heavyweight in the division, is coming off of a knockout victory over heavyweight Bryant Jennings to defend his WBA World Title. Tony Thompson looks to defeat Ortiz in front of Thompson's hometown crowd and take Ortiz's world title and make it his own. Also fighting, 2008 Olympian Saddam World Kid Ali will face former world champion Jesse Vargas for the vacant WBO welterweight world title. Saddam Ali looks to take his perfect record of 22-0 and prove to the world that he is one of the top fighters in his division. Jesse Vargas looks to prove to the world that he is one of the best after his controversial loss to Timothy Bradley. Also fighting, a stacked undercard of some of Washington, D.C.'s best fighters. You don't want to miss these great fights. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com.
And that's going to be a great card in Washington, D.C. on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the progression of Luis Ortiz. I love that he's getting back in the ring so soon after making that splash at the end of 2015 by knocking out Bryant Jennings. And Tony Thompson, he's not fighting a top 10 contender, but he's fighting one of the more reliable gatekeepers in the heavyweight division.
I've been on record, Doug, as saying out of all the heavyweights that don't have a major title, I think Luis King Kong Ortiz is the most dangerous guy, perhaps the most well-schooled. And in terms of Tony Thompson, I think Golden Boy and HBO are in a bit of a quandary. Quite frankly, risk-reward ratio, Luis Ortiz was poison to a lot of guys. There were a multitude of heavyweights that simply did not want this assignment.
As always, we appreciate all your tweets and interaction on social media. And we have a new feature right there. WM Jenkins, KRCA in Metro LA area. Always log on to ringtvlive.com. We appreciate that.
Glad you're watching.
Always, every single fight will be streamed for you, whether you're watching it on Ring TV Live or on Yip TV. We do appreciate it. Send us all your tweets, hashtag Ring TV Live. Hello, Frank Espinoza Jr., who's watching it. Espinoza Boxing Club has an exciting fighter in Oscar Valdez. He's going to fight April 9th. But right now, we're watching Ivan Delgado and Jesus Sandoval.
And it's a competitive fight. I think this fight is even right now.
You know, Doug, when Sandoval is first, specifically with that jab, he gives Delgado a moment to pause, although he got hit right there with the counter uppercut from the right hand of the striker.
You can hear Sandoval's corner saying, don't trade, no slugging. I think he agrees that when Sandoval is working his jab and moving and has some distance, that southpaw style kind of comes into play, and Delgado has some trouble landing his shots.
I think Delgado needs to really close the gap. One thing that's been effective in the last round or two is when Delgado, when Delgado starts to dig that left hook to the body, that's when he's starting to really slow down some of the movement of Sandoval.
Ivan Delgado, the red trunks. Jesus Sandoval in the black trunks. Good body shot landed by Sandoval. Ivan Delgado going body shot of his own, then he goes upstairs. Sandoval shakes his head no.
Delgado's found a home when he's in range to land that left hook to the body and right back up in the head, and he's done that a few times during this round.
That's something he said he really worked on for this fight, Doug. That left hook to the body, something that he emphasized, because the last time he fought, using that left hook, he said he wasn't able to plant his feet and dig in, and you guys know more about that. When a fighter says they need to dig in, what does that mean, Steve?
That just means planting your feet and make sure your heels and your toe are really in the ground and you're punching with your legs and your core. The one thing that's impressive about what Delgado has figured out is that his left hook to the body will set up the left hook to the head. So those two things work together in sync.
Final seconds of a good round. Back at the Belasco Theater. We're in the 5th round, scheduled for 6. Ivan Delgado, Jesus Sandoval. We do appreciate all the tweets that you're sending us. We are watching them. And there you see Frank Espinosa Jr. He and his father do a great job with Espinosa Boxing.
What's up, Frankie?
Yeah, in fact, March 25th in the Fantasy Springs, Antonio Orozco, a young man they've developed into a junior welterweight contender, will be the featured performer. In fact, they have other young men that we see on a regular basis, Joet Gonzalez and Emiliano Sanchez.
Yeah, Emilio Sanchez will be fighting at the Fantasy Springs on the 25th. His younger brother, Sal, no longer an amateur. He's 1-0. And we got a good one here with Delgado and Sandoval. Sandoval is not backing away. The southpaw is coming with his punches of his own, lands a good left.
Well, Beto, I think he may want to back away a little bit because right now, Striker's made the decision to come inside the pocket and sit inside. And this is where he has the most success as he digs both to the body and the head, specifically with that left hook.
I think Delgado is the better infighter, and I think it would behoove Sandoval to utilize more lateral movement. And I thought that's what his corner was telling him to do between rounds. But now they're saying pressure, Jesus. Yeah, so, okay,
well,
I may have read it wrong.
No, but Doug, I think what they're saying is back up.
I heard the same thing.
I think what they're saying is back up Delgado. When Delgado backs up, he's not nearly as effective as he is coming forward.
How do you guys have it after 4, guys?
I have it very close. Gosh, I have Delgado just edging him. I scored rounds 1 and 4 for Delgado, the second round even, and the third round is Sandoval. So Sandoval is still in this fight on my very unofficial scorecard.
Yeah, and Doug, I have it 39-37. Second round, I think, is the difference, and I do believe that Delgado is starting to take over here, at least in the 5th round. He's up by 2 on my scorecard.
Ivan Delgado, talking to him yesterday at the weigh-ins, he said in the last few rounds, that's when he's going to try to put on more pressure and let his hands go a little bit. So that's where he feels like his experience is going to help him against Jesus Sandoval. Less than a minute to go in the 5th round. Good body shot landed by Delgado. Delgado trained by Ramon Morales. Sandoval by Juan Martinez.
Watch your head.
And there you hear him in the
Yeah,
corner, 'cause
yeah.
we are in the blue corner. So.
It's tough for Sandoval because Delgado, he's just got that high guard. It's very hard to penetrate. And although he isn't a power puncher, he's physically strong, so he can take those punches on his arms and return fire.
Doug, that was a good left hook landed about 10 seconds ago,
Yes.
and I think the striker's having a very big 5th round here, and he's also made a little bit of an adjustment. In this round, I think specifically he has added the left uppercut that comes right in between the 5-hole, as I like to call it, of Sandoval.
And he landed that right to the chest.
There's some blood coming down from the right eyebrow of Jesus Sandoval. Referee Wayne Hedgepeth said it was from a punch. And that'll do it for 5.
That was a punishing round for Sandoval. From start to finish, Sandoval lost something in his gas tank because of the punishment that Delgado's putting. There's a lead right landed, followed by a left, followed by a beautiful left uppercut with Sandoval's back against the ropes. Straight right to the body, left hook to the head. He's chopping him down and chopping him up.
The one thing that's impressive is the punch sequence of the striker, how one punch leads to another, even if it doesn't land. I've seen a lot of right hands that don't necessarily hit the target, but Delgado has the presence of mind to understand that'll set up a left hook or a left uppercut, and I thought it was a very big 5th inning for the striker.
And Ivan Delgado works a lot with, there you see Oscar Negrete, we're gonna see it a little bit later, and El Famoso Terremoto, Luis Santa Cruz.
Yeah, in fact, Mr. Santa Cruz had a big win last week against Kiko Martinez. He told me yesterday at the weigh-in he'd like to fight anyone with the belt at 126, including one Vasil Lomachenko.
There you go. The 126-pound, we're going to get into that division. Steve Kim wrote all about it. For the 6th and final round is brought to you by Pixie. Live curiously.
Touch glove, touch glove.
Nasty cut on the right eyebrow of the southpaw Jesus Sandoval from a punch in the 5th round landed by Ivan Delgado. He's in the red trunks. Delgado said he sparred with Oscar Negrete for this fight.
Bring yours up, bring your punch.
Well, that'll get you used to hand speed and activity. Negrete, naturally a much smaller man, but very active, quick-fisted fighter.
Keep him up, Bobby. Keep him up.
Jesus Sandoval, you mentioned it, Doug, something was taken out of that tank in the 5th round. Heavier punches landed by Delgado, like that left to the jaw. Uppercut from Delgado. Looking really comfortable in the ring in the 6th and final round is striker Delgado.
Sandoval is firing back whenever he can. He did land a body shot not too long ago, but you just see the wear and tear on his face. You know he's just getting the worst of every exchange.
Sandoval is getting tagged by Ivan Delgado. Sandoval told me his mom told him as a youngster, "Mijo, go to college, because if you don't, life's gonna hit you back." And let's just use some Spanish expletives we're using that. And right now, Ivan Delgado is the one that is just hitting him back. Body shot, upstairs goes Delgado. Sandoval complaining about a low blow. Wayne Hedgepeth said it was on the belt. And Delgado is starting to let his hands go. Good combinations, just like he said at the fighter meeting. Sandoval breathing heavy. And Delgado looking fresh.
See, Sandoval, sometimes when they're in close, Sandoval will push Delgado's head down, and that leads to those borderline and south of the border punches.
Sandoval breathing heavy. 45 seconds to go in the fight. Ivan Delgado said he has a big crowd coming, wants to put on a show, but he wants to make 2016 a year where he gets his name noticed. Uppercut, right hand landed by striker Delgado.
All right, breathe. Stop punching, step back.
Delgado in firm command, but you can look on his face. He's feeling the fatigue as well. But his face is clean. He's done a really good job on defending.
6th and final round winding down. Our opening bout, the LA Fight Club.
10 seconds, stop at the bell.
Downtown LA, the 1-year anniversary. Good opening bout. We have 5 more to go. Don't go anywhere. Delgado, Sandoval, go the distance. It goes the distance between Ivan Delgado and Jesus Sandoval. Some blood splattered on our desk right here in the blue corner. That coming from the face of Jesus Sandoval. You guys had it tight early. How did you guys have it after 6?
I have it 59-56 for Delgado. I really think he took over in the second half of the fight.
Well, I had it 59-55. Well, one thing that impressed me about Delgado, I thought halfway through that Sandoval started making a little bit of a mini run, but I thought he separated himself in rounds 4, 5, and 6. I have it 59-55 for the striker, who tonight, Doug, I thought really got some quality work in.
And that's one thing that Delgado said. He was hoping to get good quality work because he knows that twice a month Golden Boy is putting on the LA Fight Club, whether it's here at the Velasco or Fancy Springs, or sometimes we even go to Vegas. Said he wants to get back into that ring quick, and not much wear and tear on the face of Delgado, so he's going to talk to the promoter, his manager, and hopefully try to get back into that ring quickly. There you see Ivan Delgado getting the judges' scorecards as they're wrapping him around. And there you see Ivan Striker Delgado. He's got the sponsors. Good corner, veteran corner that he has working with him. Usually coming over to talk to his opponent. Good sportsmanship. 25-year-old father of 3 from South Central, Ivan Delgado. Let's go to ring announcer Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds, we go into the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals. Dr. Lou Moren has it 60-54. Judges Carla Caiz and Zach Young both have it 59-55. For your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Ivan Striker Delgado!
Ivan Delgado improves to 9-0 with 1 draw. 25-year-old will be joining us pretty soon. Let's look at some highlights from this fight.
And it was a competitive match, at least through the first 3 rounds. You see some even exchanges here early on. I think the more accurate puncher was Ivan Delgado, especially when he doubled up with that left hook to the body and back up to the head. Helped set up his straight right, which he fired to the chest on occasion. You see it's Delgado who is stalking forward and striking whenever he gets Sandoval's back against the ropes.
Yeah, and Doug, I thought his combination punching in the second half was very, very impressive, and he made an adjustment by layering in the left uppercut on the inside, really imposing his will, and then separating himself for Ivan Delgado, and who moves now to 9-0-1.
And he earned that win.
And Ivan Delgado will be walking and joining us, and Steve Kim takes his perch. Delgado joins us. It's 25-year-old Ivan Striker Delgado. There you see him in the corner. We're right here. Well, this is us right here. We're waving right here in the blue corner.
Congratulations, Ivan.
Ivan Delgado.
Thank you.
All right, you can breathe, man. Take a chance. You good? You good? How'd you feel after going 6 good ones?
I feel good, you know. The last round, I was, you know, all the hard punches I was landing on takes your airway, you know, but I was still trying to maintain control of the pace, you know, but I feel good, you know. He's a little awkward, you know, southpaw fighter, but I give him props, you know.
Yeah, there was some awkwardness. You could tell early in the fight there was some adjustment. The second round, I scored even, and the third round, I actually scored for Sandoval, and then I had you winning the next 3 rounds. What was your adjustment? What did you do to take over the fight after that difficulty early on?
Well, after there, you know, I just started trying to time him little by little, you know, and started throwing him. I started catching him with the right hand and the lefts.
Look at the highlights right here. Check these out. Describe what you see right. There's earlier in the fight.
No, right there, I was just trying to set him up. You know, I knew he was throwing himself, so I was trying to throw more uppercuts. You know, because I knew he was throwing himself at me, and he was going his head down a little. You know, so I had to pick him up.
Ivan Delgado, congratulations. Your 3 babies are proud of you right now, man.
Thank you, man. You know, they're my motivation, and each day, you know, I try to train hard to keep on building my record.
You're now 9-0. Congratulations, Ivan Delgado. We'll be seeing you back soon in the ring. There's that camera. Shout out who you got to say out. Right, that little square thing. Believe it or not, the camera.
Shout out to all my fans, to all my sponsors, Tacos de Neve, Winners Collision, Bernie Sports, Michelada. You know, I got a few sponsors out there more, and my managers that go to this opportunity to keep fighting.
All right, man. Commission's waiting for you. Take those wraps off. Go enjoy yourself tonight.
Right, thank you, man.
Ivan
Hope to see you
Striker
soon.
Delgado wins our opening bout. Rafael Gramajo is